and welcome to the Be Purely Balanced podcast. I'm Dr. Crystal Couture, and today I'm here with Amy Bregy, and we are talking about integrated therapies. Amy has studied and practiced in many integrative techniques over 15 years. She has devoted much time in studies to bring the most effective and innovative techniques to those who choose to live a more natural-based lifestyle. Amy has worked on both sides of the fence, as she started in mainstream healthcare working in laboratory sciences. Being extremely sensitive to pharmaceutical drugs is what brought her into a more natural approach to health and wellness. These techniques have helped her to personally achieve all health goals, and is why she decided to educate herself in this field so that she can provide an educated experience in this approach. Welcome, Amy.
Hi, Crystal. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm so excited to share this sacred time together today and to really talk about what you do.
Well, as you said, I work in integrated therapies, which what integrated therapies is an approach to integrate mainstream medicine and natural medicine. I'm not against mainstream medicine, but what I'm against, not really against, but what I try to teach is that there's a delicate balance, and that when to know when mainstream medicine is the best approach and when you can actually use natural remedies to achieve the same results without creating a toxic overload in your body.
Beautiful. Why don't you tell us about your journey and how you got here and really share that personal story of what makes you you as a healer?
All right. Well, as a healer, if I think about it now, it really started when I was a child. I've always been drawn to help people. If someone was not, I was always that person that if someone was upset, I would, console them and talk to them and kind of tap into their energy. I didn't know that's what I was doing at the time. And as I grew, I just, I was always in some type of a field that would help people feel better. I ended up in healthcare and laboratory sciences as a lab assistant and phlebotomist, and felt that was my calling for a while, and then started having some side effects to medication I was taking, and started exploring the natural world because of my own um, ailments, and it just seemed to get worse. The allergies were getting worse, and I was less tolerant to things to the point I couldn't even use shampoo. So it got pretty bad. And then my children started having some issues with, detergents mostly, that type of thing, asthma, just environmental things. And one, the biggest thing that kind of brought me into this and really made me study really deeply and pursue what I'm doing now is my daughter Lila, who is now 14. When she was 5, she got double pneumonia, and we found out she was allergic to all antibiotics. Most people are allergic to penicillin if they're allergic, but she was allergic to all of them. So that was quite a trial. Luckily, her doctor knew me personally through working at the hospital, and I asked him to trust me to do some other types of um, healing. And I told him what I was going to do, and I would bring her in every single day so he could monitor her. And what I found to work still works to this day with her. And she does not take any antibiotics. She doesn't get sick. We don't get sick. I haven't had the flu in probably 15 years.
Wow.
Nothing. Not a cold, anything. And it's because I'm keeping my body in balance. And that's what's really the key, is the balance.
What a powerful experience to have that personal translation of illness, and that illness transforming into health, really preventative health and solid, well-rounded health through getting into these modalities and creating a lifestyle through the natural medicine.
Yes, and the integrative approach isn't just one approach. It combines aromatherapy, In its proper usage, I want to really, really touch upon that because I had an experience recently with the medical community and how some feel about this type of, healing. I personally am very, very adamant about people learning how to use essential oils properly, just like with medicine. You wouldn't, would you trust a doctor that went to school for a weekend? No, you wouldn't.
Right.
And nor should you in any type of modality that deals with your health and well being.
Yeah.
You need to make sure the people that they know what they're doing. So I'm really, really, that's why I got into, wasn't any formal training in what we were doing and be able to, again, the alphabet soup, that's what a lot look for. But that really represents the time and dedication that you've spent training in your craft. And
Mm.
I was fortunate enough to watch this beautiful um, Academy of Integrated Therapies grow from a very minimal seed, talking about it in class with my instructors about how we would like to open an academy with actually helping him implement that. And it was a
Mm.
beautiful, beautiful journey, still is. We have to, I have to go to school every year and go to a conference and keep up my license. We have to keep learning and growing in order to keep my certification, so it isn't a 4-day weekend one, and done. It's not like that.
Yeah.
And I encourage anyone who is interested in this field to go this route because it is very well done. The people that runs Academy of Integrated Therapies, it's very affordable. That was another thing that stops a lot of healers from moving on, is the expense of you know learning a craft and keeping in the tools. So I use vibrational healing with essential oils and tuning forks. Crystals is also vibrational. So I bring all of those together and create a special um, session just for you. And as I get to know you and work with you ongoing, I can adapt those modalities to suit you at that time. So every present moment, every session is different in
Mm.
what you need in that moment.
So the sessions are very ritualistic in
Yes.
nature. Yeah. So you create this warm and comfortable environment with all these amazing sounds, all these amazing smells, and
Yeah.
and you share how these modalities work with the clients so that
hmm
they then can translate some of the skills to their own wellness routine, right?
That's right. Yes, I provide health and education and workshops for people to learn how to use the essential oils and bring that knowledge home, not just to come in and have a session, which is really self care, but to also bring it home and work with their families with it in an educated way.
Hmm. So off the cuff, we didn't talk
Yes.
about this before, but off the cuff, if you had three or four or five, whatever, essential oils that you would say people need to have these in their sort of natural first aid kit, what would they be?
I'm glad you didn't say just one because I wouldn't be able to pick one, just
Yeah.
one. But I can tell you right off the top of my head, frankincense, lavender. Those are two that I use daily. There's a couple of blends that are really, really, really important. Right now is Thieves, which is a blend that helps get rid of anything. And I diffuse it in my home. I use, there's an entire product line with that as a base. And I believe that's why I stay well. Besides, being a facilitator of the raindrop technique, the oils, each oil that's in this technique is there for a reason. It
Yeah.
supports the body in a certain way.
Hmm. Okay.
So
So
frankincense,
definitely. Yeah.
lavender, thieves,
So
joy.
so what do frankincense and lavender do? Because I'm not sure that all of our listeners will know exactly what they do. So what's so special about lavender?
So lavender, I love as a universal oil, more physical, but it also is for emotional well-being. So lavender applied to the skin oxygenates the skin, renews the skin. So it's great for if you have any cuts or burns or anything like that, as a natural rejuvenation for your skin. It's very mild to the skin as well. Is one of the oils that you can use pretty liberally without any issues. And also, it is very calming to the emotional state. I find that it works a lot with male energy.
Mm.
And with kids with ADD, lavender is one of the main ingredients that I use.
Great. And what about frankincense? Frankincense is
S-
one of my favorites too. I
So,
love.
frankincense is very spiritual, as you know, and spiritual well being is very well needed and very overlooked. So, frankincense, what I use frankincense is on my brain stem
Mm.
and on the top of my head for the direct link to my creator. And I also use orange oil mixture with frankincense and orange every morning. Frankincense is just so uplifting. It is it is very adapt. It's an adaptogen, so it will work what you need, Crystal, and it'll also do what my body needs. So it adapts to what your body needs, and that's what a lot of things that people don't understand about essential oils.
Mm. Yeah, the plant medicine is like that in general, I think, right? You know, plants sort of have their properties, as we like to talk about from a scientific perspective,
Mm,
you know, herbs and oils, right? They sort of have properties. And
right.
then beyond those properties, they can kind of like weave their way into a bunch of different pathologies, which is
Hmm.
pretty amazing.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right. So everyone has to go out and get frankincense and lavender and thieves so that they stay healthy during the
Yes.
winter season.
Mm.
Awesome. What would you say is the most ah the most robust gift that working with oils and working with sound and working just with those energetic vibrations that the modalities really have given back to you?
To me personally, or as a practitioner?
Yeah, to you personally
To
and
me
as a
personally.
practitioner.
So, me personally, the oils have gifted me the gift of health and well being.
Mm,
I have never ever experienced such a transformation in my life as I have since I started using essential oils and vibrational healing. I, as a practitioner, can watch a person come from what we would call a negative or bad state in their life and
mm.
help them free themselves. Freedom is one of the biggest things that has given me, both as a personally and as a practitioner.
I love this. I would love for you to expand on this idea of freedom. I think very often when folks are sick or not well, right? And they're looking for something. And very often they come to people like you and I because it's a last resort. They've tried everything else
Hmm.
already, right? Or they know about us from other reasons. But very often a new client will come in and they've tried a bunch of things already. Um, and so this idea of freedom, how working in the alternative realms translates into the life, into the quality of life, and into the life experience for clients is profound. So I'd love for you to add to that if you'd like.
Okay, so what I mean by freedom is watching someone free themselves from the bondage of whatever they're dealing with at the time. It could be grief, it could be health struggles, it can be emotional struggles. Some are going through, different kinds of things, and they come to you, like you said, they're kind of, they're kind of wrung out from the mainstream medical community and not getting the results they're seeking. So I bring them in, and the first thing that I touch upon is I'm not here to tell you what you're doing wrong. I'm here to help you move forward and feel better in any way that I can. So, yes, I go over your medical history, what you're taking for prescription drugs, what you're taking for I go through everything, vitamins, what are you eating, what are you putting on your body, what is your day like, where's your stress level, you have to get to the bottom of these things in order to have a balanced life. And if you can help somebody to sleep better, or you can help somebody get through a hard day or a situation and have a better result, that is what it's all about for me. To watch that growth is just so rewarding, to watch someone grow like that and become all they can be. And it's funny, in our business, we say, I love seeing you, but one day you won't need me. um, so it's kind of a catch 22. I love seeing my clients, but I also love seeing them move on. So it's a beautiful thing, and I'm very blessed to do what I do.
Mm, that's a wonderful sentiment, and I think that there's definitely a time, when you start working with a healer, it may not be forever. I mean, some people really stick around for a long time
They
as
do, yeah.
clients, and that's okay. And they're
Hmm.
invested in whatever high vibe spiritual awakening that can happen, and that's amazing. Um, and then there are others that sort of run their course, and I think as healers, you're right. We have to sort of be aware of that, be aware of the differences within people, and not have an attachment to the outcome. And for clients to be aware of understanding that when you come to see someone, you're drawn to them for some specific reason that you might not even understand. And it might
Hmm.
be one session, it might be 5, it might be 25, whatever it comes out to. There's some reason that you were there. There's something that filled in the gaps too. And the healing process is malleable. That's
Hmm.
just what you're saying, and that's how it's translating to me, is that it's really malleable, really movable, and um, we've got this potential within us, right?
We do. And it takes more than one teacher or healer to get, because you're going to go through another experience. So, what I love about the healing community is how we all interconnect and, give each other referrals and know, okay, you know what? This person would be really great for you. To get through this aspect, or I really think this person can help you, and that's what I love about it. There's no competition, at least I don't feel. We're all in this together to help each other through this thing called life. So,
Yeah. You had a personal experience, a personal healing experience last week, that we we chatted about,
yeah.
and it was really special. And I know that you mentioned you were willing to talk about that today on the show, and I would love for you to share this little path that you went down for this personal healing journey, and how that's really settling in to the big picture of you.
Well, it's been quite interesting, actually. So last Friday, I went so there's in Elliott, Maine, this place called Shiloh Farm, and they are a sustainable living community. They have a yoga studio there, and I practice there on a regular basis. I'm a member there. And this kirtan group called Shiva Leela has a member that has opened up a tattoo studio. It's a sacred tattooing artwork. You can have artwork done, you can have tattoos done. There's many things he does, but it's primarily sacred artwork.
Mm.
It's really interesting. So I was there when they were talking about it. So I was there from day one, when they were talking about it in a, you know, broom closet, basically. And I just happened to be there, and we were talking about, I said, this is really interesting, because I had just seen a special on another form of sacred tattooing, and I was very interested in this subject because, if you're going to put a mark on your body, um, I really believe that it needs to be very symbolic. And there needs to be,
Mm.
one, a reasoning for it, and two, a symbolism to go with it to make it something really special. Um, I never got a tattoo until I was 50 years old. And I got one with my sister. It was spur of the moment drive off the road. Just do it. 15
Mm.
minutes later, I had a tattoo on the back of my neck. Um,
Mm.
so this one was a little different. It started with that journey, waiting for it to open and watching them build the studio and watching it come together, being part of the blessing ceremony and the opening. And so it was quite a journey just to be part of it all. And then making the date to do my piece. And in that journey, one of my best friends decided she was going to do it with me. And so it was really interesting because he has you meditate beforehand. and you're really putting your energy into this piece that you're creating. And it's so wild, the similarities that he got. And I know we know each other, but we're not really close. Like, we're acquaintances, but he doesn't really know my life or know me well. And he didn't know her at all.
Mm.
But he just, it was like magic. He brought this beautiful symbolism together exactly the way we wanted it. There's a meditation with the three of us together. We were all seeing the same kind of symbolisms. Hers is a little different than mine, which is really good. It's the exact same design. Mine's colored. Hers is a black, gray, white scale, and it's very unique. There's been a lot of shedding of emotions this week for me. As my
Mm.
skin is shedding on the tattoo, a lot of old patterns are shedding, and it's been very interesting.
Wow. You know, it's super easy, Amy, for us to, like, as healers, right? For us to
Hmm.
stay in this place where people respect us as healers and we do our thing. And it's really easy for us to talk about our modalities because, like, they're our passion, they're our Tao, right? They're
Hmm.
exactly what we're aligned to do.
Exactly.
But there's a whole other side, which
There
is,
is.
us being human, experiencing this physical life and having some of these emotions. And sure, maybe we have access to more healers and healing sessions and that kind of thing. But I love the truth of the vulnerability of you sharing that this is part of your healing journey, because no
Hmm.
one is sitting up top. Like, we just don't have that capacity, right? We're just
No.
not sitting at the top and we've got our shit together and we're helping other people to figure it out. Like, we're all working through life. We're all present in this one life together. So I can appreciate in such a big way how you're sharing this vulnerability and how you're sharing that this healing process for you as physically impactful it was by shifting something into your skin, into your body, that
Hmm.
it's impacting the emotions in such a way, and that you're working with your patterns, you're working with your stuff.
I am. And the thing is that's, how am I going to help someone to do that if I don't experience it myself?
Yes.
So, healers, a lot of people don't realize that healers go through kind of a lot more, because we come out the other side. And
Yeah.
when we say we know what you feel, we do. And
Yeah.
that's not a boastful thing. We've been there and we've tread that hard road, and we've been a pioneer through that process. And the beauty of it is that we come back and help people through that. And it isn't, I don't expect praise or anything for that. Just watching someone unfold is just the most beautiful thing to me. And I know what it feels like when I'm unfolding, and I know what they're feeling. And so it really is a beautiful thing. And I love what I when I'm working, time is not there, it's just is. Like, I do by session. I give them an idea of what time, but I really don't go by that specifically. If it goes longer, that's part of the session,
Yeah.
you know.
Wow.
But do you want to see it?
I would love to see it, but our listeners won't be able to see it. So maybe we can tag a photo of
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I can do that for you.
Yeah, that
It's
would be
very
amazing.
symbolic. There's language, a sacred language in this. So with the tattoo image or the symbology, symbolism
Yeah.
was also a phrase that came up. So
Okay.
the language in the tattoo means empowerment through the sacred frequency of life. So that's what came up for the
Whoa.
two of us. And the symbolism is the flower of life, is the middle, and it's inside of a lotus.
Mm.
So for that to come up, and for my friend and I, that's such a symbolic meaning with frequency. And what I do for a living is frequency.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Like, we both looked at each other. My friend still is reeling from the experience, because she, I'm there all the time in that energy. That was the first time she'd ever been there. And to watch her go through it as well, and we are with each other through this experience, it's just been if you ever want to have something really really amazing, it's just been one of the most incredible things I've ever done.
Wow.
Mm.
Oh, golly. I had a big energetic sneeze there. um,
Bless you.
the ancestors agree. That's what I
Yeah.
get whenever I get a sneeze. Wow. That story
Mm.
of what the meaning that came through, the phrasing that came through, I had such chills all over my whole body. Like angel bumps are everywhere right now. Like,
Mm.
wow. What a
That's what
powerful.
I was. It was so powerful. I can't, it took my breath away. When he said that phrase, I just was like, wow, really? That's what came up in like a 15-minute meditation. He doesn't know us. It was just a magical experience.
Wow. That is so profound. And thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for sharing
Absolutely.
like all the truths of it, the vulnerability of it. That's so big. And it really just speaks to who you are as a
Mm,
person. And I love that that's shining through this interview in such a positive way. And I can't wait to tag a photo on the interview so that folks can get to see your tattoo.
absolutely.
Absolutely. So this work, frequency, vibration, oils, and they have a frequency too.
Hmm.
There's an impact that's greater than what's happening to you, which you've alluded to as the healer and the client on the table, right? There's something that's
Yes.
happening for the collective consciousness.
Hmm.
So let's talk about that.
So when I'm working with the person, I'm working with their divine as well as mine. And there's this energy, and when we can bring ourselves and keep ourselves in a more elevated sense of consciousness, it's like the butterfly effect. It does ripple out and affects the collective consciousness. When you are vibrating at a higher vibration, you attract a higher vibration. Well, when you ask me to share a healing, most of mine is hands-on, as you know. So one of the things I do is lead guided meditations, and I believe that meditation is very beneficial to adapt a practice. But I also believe that it's a slow becoming, and you need to be gentle with yourself in order to achieve the state that we talk about and we want you to achieve. You've got to start out slow. So the meditation I'd like to share with you is a sacred space. So you get to create your own sacred space. Instead of trying to visualize something that someone is saying, you get to create it.
Mm,
And that's a great place to start.
beautiful. I love it.
Okay, so I want you to get comfortable in a chair, in a posture that's comfortable, whatever is right for you. And I want you to now concentrate on your breathing. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. This should be a natural process and not forced. And you should be as comfortable as you possibly can be. There's nothing to do, nothing to say, and no worries to be looking at this moment. This is a time to let go, and this is a time to be creative and be true with yourself. So as we breathe in and we breathe out, I want you to visualize walking up a path. The sun is shining on your face, and you can feel it around your body on each side of you as you make your way up the path. And in the distance, you see a house. And this house is exactly the way that you would create it. And as you walk up to the house, you enter the house and you start looking around. Everything in there is something that you would like to have in your house that you created. Take a look at what is there. Keep in mind what is the sounds around you. maybe some birds outside, maybe a gentle rain falling on the rooftop, maybe a crackling fire in the fireplace. What are the smells around you? Could be hot tea brewing on the stove, or a roast that you put in for dinner to roast slowly throughout the day. What is your furnishing like? What does it feel like when you sit on it? Take the time to find your favorite chair and favorite space in your favorite room in this house. Walk through the house and go to that favorite room, into a favorite chair. What does it feel like to sit in the chair? You might wrap a favorite blanket around you. Now, as you breathe here, just take in the sights, sounds, the feelings of being in this place that you made, knowing that you can come back here at any time. You can add to this space. You can change the space, but it's always there, waiting for you. And as you sit in your favorite chair, relaxing, now you think of the things that you might like to do. What are those things? Feeling yourself relax, allowing your bones to support you, your muscles to relax, especially around your face and your jaw. Allow those muscles to relax. Your forehead, keeping your breathing rhythmic. Now we're going to gently come back. We're going to get up from the chair, walk back into the main room, out the door, thanking the space for a place to be and to recharge, making your way down the path back into this space, feeling yourself back in this space, noticing how you feel. Bringing yourself back into this space. And when you're ready, opening your eyes.
So beautiful, Amy. Absolutely beautiful.
Well, of course, it'd be a lot longer, but that's kind of just what I like to start people in their own visioning, not what I vision, but what they vision.
I love that because you give the client empowerment, right? To
Yes.
define that space. You give them empowerment to
The
define.
freedom to create their own space. Yes.
Exactly. I love that so much. What a interesting way to take visualization to the
Mm.
next level. So
I know that's what worked for me. So
wonderful.
I just, I listen to other people. I love going to meditations and silent meditations. That's a challenge. The silent meditation is shutting off everything.
Yes.
But when you can do that, and there's baby steps, don't try to jump into a silent meditation. It will not work for you. You need to be able to be in that space. So that's a really great place to start.
Wonderful. Amy, if our listeners want to get in touch with you, what are the best ways for them to do that?
Well, there's a few different ways you can get in touch with me. I do have a website. With it is www.earthzenergy.com. I'm also on Facebook under Earth's Energy, and you can email me, you can message me. Um, my email is info@earthsenergy.com. And anything, no questions are, if I can't serve you, I'll definitely find someone who can. But I love working with people and helping them on their path to their own divinity.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much. This has been such an honor to share sacred space and then also be part of this co-creation of our own
Yes.
sacred space together.
Great. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being with you, and hope to